Well, America fell in love with him as Cameron Tucker in Modern Family, but before that, KCK native Eric Stonestreet kept busy on the farm. You can see him there at the Chiefs game. He also does a lot of great work around town with Big Slick, and you've seen him on Modern Family. There he is with Randy Reed. Of course, he's had a lot of the, well, Randy Reed and our very own Aaron Little there took part in the Big Slick with the home run derby and the softball game out at the K. Always a big part of the summer here in Kansas City. He does a great job in giving back to his community, of course, made his name there as Cameron from Modern Family. Before making it big in Hollywood, though, Emmy, he did raise and showed pigs in Wyandotte County 4-H, and that humble upbringing has inspired his latest project, which is a myth-busting video series for the National Pork Board. He joins us right now, Eric Stonestreet. Sir, it's great to talk to you. Both you and I grew up in KCK. But I grew up on the east side of town at Sumner.
Really?
You went to Piper. I always thought we played the farm school whenever we played Piper back in the day. How did growing up with that kind of agricultural influence kind of help shape you?
Well, you know, I didn't realize it at the time, Bill, but it was shaping me in a lot of different ways. Responsibility, work ethic, stick-to-itiveness, sort of consciousness that the world exists 3 foot outside of my perimeter, knowing that I have things in the woods, in the barn that needed me to sustain their life was a major life lesson. So I'm thankful for that upbringing. And you were playing the farm school when you came to Piper. What years was that?
I was in the 90s, a couple of years after you had already left. So luckily we never had to face off on the football field or anything, because I'm not sure I could have stood up to that. But
farm strong, baby.
That's
farm
right.
strong.
That's right. There's a lot of responsibility in being on the farm. I know I've been around my fair share of pig farms in the day. The smell is always the thing that stands out to me the most. But what's kind of some of the biggest misconceptions that you can share about pig farming that's you think it's important for people to know and understand?
Yeah, well, first and foremost, the idea that pigs are dirty animals. I know for a fact, by having raised pigs, that pigs themselves are clean animals. And then when you add in the idea that farmers do everything they can to keep their environment clean and safe and sterile, you know, I have to shower in and shower out when I visit modern pig farms these days. I have to wear special clothes that are treated so that I don't bring disease in. They're very conscious about keeping those pigs safe, well-regulated climate in the barns. I joked when I was at the pig farm that it was cooler in the sow barn than it was when I was shooting Modern Family on the soundstage sometimes. So, you know, just things like that. And, you know, more than that, it doesn't apply as much around here in Kansas City as it does other places. But just the disconnect people have between farming and pig farming and pork producing and where their food comes from. People need to investigate that and understand how hardworking farmers are and what steps they take to make it as great of an environment as they possibly can for the animals.
Is that really kind of what led you on this path then? Is more of an education and made you want to work with the pork industry? Just because, I mean, there's so much, like you said, there's just a different perspective about it, and people should realize what actually goes on.
Well, you know, it's fun for me having gone to Kansas State, right? I grew up with pig farmers and farmers in general and know a lot of people that chose that path in their lives. So it's been a real treat for me to hear from college buddies, hey, my uncle saw you in his pig magazine, or my grandma saw you on the news talking about the pork industry, and then thanking me because, you know, I get to choose what I put my name and face to, and the idea that I get to bring some positive light on pig farming and farmers in general, given where I grew up, given the people that I grew up with, and knowing how hardworking they are, it makes me feel good, and I'm happy to do it because I just want people to make decisions for themselves based on facts, right? Not fiction. And if you don't want to eat pork because you know that you just decide you don't want to eat pork, that's different than not eating pork because of some fiction, right? That pigs are eating leftovers off the dining room table or something like that. So I just want to make sure that people understand what modern pig farming is and what it's not, more importantly, what it's not.
Well, we're just so proud to see what all of you've accomplished here and being from Kansas City, Kansas and everything. What's next on your plate? Are you going to come back for some Chiefs games, maybe for some K-State games here in the future? What next can you let your fans here in Kansas City know about?
I don't miss any home Chiefs games, and I'll tell you, maybe I should start missing because the last one the other night was not a fun one to see.
Nope.
But I don't miss Chiefs games. But I'm around town more than I used to be for the last 20 years pursuing my career. It's been great to be back in Kansas City. It's been great to reconnect with the people of Kansas City, be around my folks, my family, my now fiance Lindsay, who's here in Kansas City. So it's been a real treat to have done what I did in Los Angeles and then come back home and retether myself to the city that I love and that produced me, right? My mom says that she's the main executive producer of Eric Stonestreet, but now I'm back home around the city that I love so much.
Well, very cool. Thank you for spending some time with us. Congratulations again on the engagement. And also, I do a little bit of work with the K-State Marching Band. I want to thank you for all of your efforts that you've put in with that great organization as well. So, Eric Stonestreet, thank you very much for your time this morning.
Thank you. Thanks, Bill. Thank you.